it's Anya here. I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks, and today we are making the basic cover for our tissue box. Obviously you can make it as deep as you want to, so keep measuring for your box. This is a tall box. There are half size boxes as well, so stop in time, I would say. I am using the Cotton Soft by King Cole, which is a great cotton to work with. It's not mercerized, it's got a matte color, and that's why I like them. This is the color Sage. So, I've made them in other colors as well. So King Cole, Cotton Soft. And then here I've got the hook that I am using, and it's a 3 to make it a nice tight fabric. So let's get started. You start by making your slip knot, whichever way you do it. Then you insert your hook, and we are going to chain 55 chains. And there we go. I will see you when you have done your 55 chains. I have now done my 55 chains. Now, making sure that your chain is not twisted, go back to the first chain, insert, and I always pick up 2 legs of that chain and do a slip stitch. Now, that slip stitch is going to be your 56th chain. So we are using every stitch that we have created. Okay, so this is our 56th one, this is our first one. Now we are going to chain 2, and this is going to be considered, this chain, I am going to consider that as the last half double crochet of my round. So we are going to disregard that for now. Okay, because that is our last stitch, so we do our last stitch first, and now we do our first stitch. So for our first stitch, we are going to go back into that same chain that we went into to do the slip stitch, and we're going to do a half double crochet. So half double crochet is yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the 3 loops on your hook. Okay, so this is our first stitch. Now, we are going to turn that first stitch into a corner, because then we know where we are. So we have done a half double crochet into that stitch. We are now going to do 2 chains and another half double crochet into that same stitch. So yarn over, insert into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through the 3 loops on your hook, and that's made a corner. So this makes sure that we know where we are. Now we are going to do a short side. A short side, this time here, is only going to be 2 stitches. So we are going to do a half double crochet in the next stitch. And I have to say, this first round is a little bit fiddly. The rest will be better. And another half double crochet in the next stitch, because you've got nothing to hold on to, of course. So carefully do your stitches. There we go. And that is our short side done. We are now ready for another corner. And in the next stitch, we are going to do a half double crochet, 2 chains, and a half double crochet. So every corner is made by doing the same thing: a half double crochet, 2 chains, and a half double crochet in that one stitch. So we have 2 corners done and 1 side. Now we are going to do a long side, and a long side is going to be 24 stitches. Now make sure you use the next stitch. Okay, so into the first stitch, if it wants to cooperate. Yeah, like I said, first round is a little bit fiddly. 1, and 2. So 1 half double crochet in each of the next 24 chains. So I'm going to get on with that, and I will see you when I have done my 24 half double crochets. There we go. Okay, I will see you at the end of your 24th stitch. I have done my 24 stitches. Now I am ready to do a corner again. Yarn over into the next stitch. You are going to do a half double crochet, 2 chains and a half double crochet. Carefully. Yeah, there we go. Okay, then we are ready for our short side, and that's only 2 stitches. So into the next stitch a half double crochet, and into the next stitch a half double crochet. And we are already ready for another corner in the next stitch. Half double crochet, chain 2 and a half double crochet into that next stitch. There we go. Okay, so we now have something that looks like this. We have our 4 corners, that's always handy. And now we are going to do along here 23 stitches, because remember our 24th one, the first or the last stitch, the first one that we did was those 2 chains, and that's going to be our 24th stitch. So in the next stitch you are going to do a half double crochet, and you are going to do 23 half double crochets along the line, and I will see you at the end of the line ready to finish our round. I have now done my 23 half double crochets. I am now looking at the chain that we did in the beginning of this round. So we are skipping the chain, but we are using the V that's on top of here. We are going to do a slip stitch in there, finishing our round. Now we have 68 stitches all around. We are now going to start round 3. So you chain 2. Then we are going to do 2 half double crochets, because we are now nearing the corner. We have to sort of first of all get to the corner. So 2 half double crochets. Then we are going to do a corner in this corner here. Half double crochet, 2 chains and a half double crochet. There we go. So we are now ready to do our short side, and as you can see in the previous round we have 4 stitches, so you have to do 4 stitches. So make sure, let me just show you, you either use this one, this one, this one and that one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got to find the 4 stitches that you are going to do. And to me, doing this like this, when it's looking like this, it looks like you're skipping this stitch, but you're not, because you're doing this one here. So you've got to make up your mind almost about which stitch you're going to be skipping, this one or this one. Okay, so I'm going to sort of skip the one that I've hidden almost under that corner, and I am going to do the one that's here that I can see clearly. So I have to do 4 stitches. So each time half double crochet, yeah, you have to do the same thing, right? So if you decide to, it's not really skipping stitches, it's just making sure you do all of them, but finding the best place to do them in, okay? So if you sort of do that each time where you skip it here, but you do that one here, then you're fine, okay? Don't skip both, because then you don't have enough stitches. If you do both, you'll have too many stitches. So it's a little bit, you have to sort of make up your mind here and see what works best for you. So I'll show you again after we've done the corner. So we are now ready for a corner. So a corner is half double crochet, 2 chains and half double crochet. There we go. And again, same thing again. Look, that first stitch seems to sort of have disappeared under my corner stitch. So I am going to do this stitch as my first one, but I am going to make sure I do this one here. Okay. Now, we are going to keep doing this all along, and each time, each side will get 2 stitches more. So each time you will increase in the amount of stitches that you do, and each side will get an extra stitch on this side and an extra stitch on this side. So it will grow, every side will grow. And basically that's what you are going to keep doing until it is big enough for the top of your box. And the number of stitches that you will need to achieve each time, I have listed them in the description box below, so do go and have a look. Let me just continue with this and I will meet you at the corner. So I have made it to the corner. As you can see, this is that last stitch that I need to do because I skipped that first stitch on the other side. I am now at the corner. 1, 2, so a half double crochet, 2 chains and a half double crochet. There we go. And then once again, as you can see, this sort of is half covered up, so I'm going to skip that, but I am going to do the one that's lying freely on the other side. I mean, you can choose to do that one, but then you don't do this one here, okay? There we go. Yeah, so that's that side done, and we are ready for another corner. Half double crochet, 2 chains and half double crochet. Once again, I am sort of skipping this one here, but I am doing this one, and I am going to do the one at the end. I will see you at the end of this side. I have now made it to the end of this side here. I am just in front of that chain. Once again, I am skipping the chain. I am going into the V that's on top of it, and I am going to do a slip stitch. You now have 76 stitches. Now we start round 4. So chain up 2, and again we do our half double crochets until we reach the corner. You will notice that you will have to do more half double crochets in every round that you do to reach the corner. Don't forget to do that really last stitch, because of course we skipped the one that was at the beginning, hidden by our corner. And now we do a corner. So this is how you are going to continue all along until your work covers the top of your tissue box. So I have my tissue box here. I am going to put that round so you can see. Okay. And slowly but surely it will cover your tissue box, so it will go all the way out till you meet the sides. It depends, of course, on your tension, on how big your stitches are, etc. But do keep trying it on, okay? So do keep trying it for size, and once you get to about here, you don't need it to cover it completely. It can be slightly under. Once you are at that stage, come back to this video and I will show you how to do the sides. So here is my work. It kept growing and growing, a row after row. And I also kept, of course, taking pictures, but I kept putting it onto my box and measuring it. So this was just a row under, so I was going to do an extra row. Here we are. And here I have completed the top of my cover. Right, so I have now done 8 rounds. So the chain is a first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It fits, but it doesn't really fit, so it doesn't sort of, but that is okay. That's what it needs to be like. It will sort itself out. You've got this little seam here, which we can hide, so that's okay as well. So now we are ready for round 9. Now round 8 has 116 stitches, and that's the stitch count that it's going to remain now. So we're not going to increase anymore, we're just going to stay the same amount of stitches. And for the first round that we are going to do now, we are going to work in the back loops only, right? So we are going to chain up 2, chain up 2 and then we are going to pick up, if I can show you properly, the back loop only, okay? And we are back to doing half double crochets. Oh, it's going well. So back loop only, and when we get to the corner I will show you what to do. I am now at those 2 chains in the corner, and I am just also here picking up the back loop so it would look the same as the rest of the work. So you would have that little ridge there as well. So continue going around, doing back loop only half double crochets, and just picking up those same back loops in the chains in the corner, and I will meet you at the end of the round. I have now come to the end of that first back loop only round. So once again, skipping the 2 chains, going under the V just above them, you are going to close up your round. Next round we are going to do 2 chains and then a half double crochet in each stitch around, and that's, like I said, 116 of them. And you are just going to keep going now until you have the depth that you need for your box. So each time, you know, do your slip stitch, chain 2 and then start again. Now I just want to show you that it does fit. So I put it on my box, and what I do is I put this little hole over the corner. This one doesn't really meet, but it does when you stretch it slightly. So you do need to sort of almost prise it into position. But when you've done this a couple of times, look, I've got it sort of tacked onto the corners there. When you leave it like that for a night, it will sort of, you know, set itself into place and it will fit around it. So as you can see, I am now going down the side here, and that is what you will need to do all the way down there. So I will see you when you have made it all the way down your box. So as you can see, I here have 3 rounds, and here my work has grown, and eventually I made it all the way down. So make sure you keep trying it on and see how many rounds you have to do to cover the whole box. Now I've made it in sage, but this is a color fudge, and then I've made a white one as well. So this is just the basic cover, and you can use that now to go and decorate it. So with having made the basic cover, there will be now a series of other videos where I am doing embellishments for the covers. So I hope you enjoyed this series. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!